Hey friends, welcome to the 19th episode of the 1111 Club. So today, I'm in a lot of pain actually. My back started hurting when I was on vacation, but I kind of brushed it off because I was sleeping in a really hard bed. And then yesterday I did a workout, my virtual workout with Leslie Robertson, and I thought I was fine and in the clear. And then today, it's like my body just did a full stop. It was like, nope, we're not doing this today. And here's the weird part, funny part, I don't know. My husband's back went out too. Same day, same spot. And this man just doesn't have back issues, and he really wasn't doing anything that would create an issue. Coincidence? Probably not. We are being told to slow down and reintegrate, to exhale before we just push forward and get back to regular life. And the more I sit with it, the more I realize how often we override these signals. We tell ourselves we can just jump right back in, whether it's coming home from a trip, maybe moving through something big emotionally or physically, or even just surviving another exhausting week. But we never actually give ourselves space to land. And then our bodies make us. And honestly, I hear it all the time from moms in my office. I just have to get through this week, and then things will slow down. Once hockey season's over, once school is done, once summer hits. And you know what? That never happens. Ever. Because unless we are intentional about it, we don't actually slow down. We will fill the space with something else, anything else. And I know last week we talked about rest. And this is a little different just because rest is kind of that full stop and allowing. This is noticing when to pause. And honestly, slowness feels really almost unnatural and uncomfortable when you've spent months and sometimes years in that go, 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 go phase or pace. And the pause then feels wrong. We like to believe that we can push through. We tell ourselves, I will rest later. I think there was a phrase, rest when you're dead. That maybe got ingrained a little bit if you've heard it before. Because that later, I'll rest later, it doesn't come until our bodies force it. Now, some of us see slowing down as a luxury, a privilege that maybe you don't have. And something we'll get to when things are easier, quieter. But what if that's actually the most important thing we could do with our alignment right now? Because burnout is rampant, and it's not just being tired. It's your body hitting a full shutdown. It's your nervous system saying, I can't hold this anymore. Because the truth is, we were not built for the level of input, pressure, expectations, world news, struggles, anything we carry and we see every moment of the day, and we override. We override until our systems crash. Have you ever noticed that your worst burnout hits actually right after you slow down? That's not random, that's on purpose, and because that's the backlog of everything you've ignored finally coming to the surface. And I work through this with clients. Those emotions we bury constantly and avoid, they have to come out eventually. And the hardest part is that we've been conditioned to trust our brain more than our body, and to then make decisions based on logic, hustle culture, and expectations from external, from other people, from society. So we ignore the cues that our bodies send us until they're screaming at us. Until we find ourselves wondering, why am I so exhausted? Why does everything feel off when it's actually not? Nothing's wrong. There's nothing wrong with life. There's nothing wrong, but something feels off. It's because misalignment isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's low-level depletion, that quiet knowing that something's not right. So the truth is, rest isn't a privilege. It's more a sacred responsibility. You are never meant to be on all the time. Nothing in nature operates this way. You know this. The seasons shift, tides change, the moon rises and sets. So why do we think we should be any different? Doesn't really make sense, but we've been conditioned to think it's normal. As always, I wanted to check in with Source with regards to what they are trying to tell us. And this is what came through. We love you so much that sometimes slowing you down is the only way we know you'll listen. So apparently we are stubborn arseholes. You carry so much guilt, feeling like you're not doing enough, being enough, accomplishing more. But none of that is true. You are so perfect right now, as you are in this moment. Your nervous system was never designed to hold the weight of the entire world. Constant awareness of others' lives and struggles keeps you in a state of unhealthy comparison, measuring yourself against standards that were never yours to begin with. So, sometimes we have to pause you, not to punish you, but to help you hear us again. And I've noticed this lately with friends, clients, myself, things collapsing, things falling apart, things you thought were in your life forever, for good, to support you are gone because you're realizing that the external doesn't support. It's all coming from within and Source. So let's do a somatic reset. Let's call this the sacred exhale. So close your eyes, just for a second. Feel that your body is supporting you right now, beneath you. Notice where you're still holding on, trying to control. Notice where there's tension. Take a slow, deep inhale and sigh it out. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Now imagine your energy catching up to you. Your mind, your breath, your nervous system, everything arriving fully in this moment. Maybe you call back the pieces of yourself that you've given away today, yesterday, last week, pieces of your attention, pieces of your emotions, pieces of your strength, and see them one by one coming back into your body, creating this whole perfect being as you are right now. One more breath. And this time, as you fully exhale, whisper to yourself, I allow myself to slow down. It is safe for me to slow down. This week, notice where your body is asking you to pause, like a physical sensation. Is there tension? Are you tired, but you still got a full night's sleep last night? Is there resistance to something? Something feel a little off, but logically, nothing's really the matter. It's still resistance. And instead of just pushing past it and going forward, what if you paused and listened? You do not have to earn that exhale. You don't have to justify your pause. And I'm being reminded of when I put a pause on a business thing, and a couple weeks later, because that pause didn't make any sense to me, a couple weeks later, I dropped the emotional archaeology title and embodied just me, Leslie Turner, and it made so much more sense as to why I needed to pause. But in that moment, it didn't make sense at all. I was like, no, I'm not sure, but I felt resistance. I felt my body go, this isn't right. Even though I love who I was going to work with and I love moving forward in the business, but that resistance was there. And I paid attention, and it meant putting a pause on this next step and having maybe a more uncomfortable conversation about it with the person, which was only uncomfortable on my part. She didn't care. And then suddenly 2 weeks later, it all made sense. So those resistance, those feelings of, I'm not sure, those are real. Those are real. The pain that flares up in your back, it's real. That headache out of nowhere, it's real. Yes, you beautiful soul, you're probably dehydrated as well, but it's real. So, when the world says that stopping is failure, I want you to remember that this is how Source comes in. They're saying it's how you hear us best. Deep breath in and out. Welcome to the pause.